What if, one day, you looked up at the sky and saw a shadow eclipse the sun? Not a cloud, but a massive, dagger-shaped warship. And then another, and another. What if every screen on Earth, from your phone to the giant displays in Times Square, suddenly flickered to life, showing the hooded, smiling face of Emperor Sheev Palpatine, announcing the arrival of the Galactic Empire? This isn't just a fan fiction daydream. It's a terrifying scenario. Let us break down what would actually happen if the architect of the Clone Wars and the ruler of the galaxy decided Earth was his next prize. First, forget any idea of a fair fight. Our most advanced fighter jets, like the F-22 Raptor, would be like paper airplanes against a squadron of TIE fighters. TIEs are designed for space combat, capable of maneuvers that would rip our jets apart. Their laser cannons would slice through our best armor with ease. And that's just the basic fighter. Our entire combined global air force would be decimated within hours, if not minutes. There would be no heroic dogfights like in the movies. It would be a slaughter. On the ground, it's an even grimmer picture. An Imperial Star Destroyer carries a full legion of 9,700 stormtroopers, along with 20 AT-AT walkers and 30 AT-ST scout walkers. Let's be conservative and say Palpatine only sends one Star Destroyer to each major continent. An AT-AT walker is a walking fortress, impervious to almost all of our conventional ground weapons. Our tanks would be crushed, our artillery positions obliterated. The stormtroopers, despite their meme-worthy aim in the films, are an overwhelming force. Clad in armor that can deflect shrapnel and dissipate some energy blasts, and armed with E-11 blaster rifles, they would make short work of our ground troops. The initial invasion would be a display of overwhelming force, a doctrine the Empire loves. Orbital bombardment would be the first step. A single Star Destroyer's turbolasers have enough power to turn a city into a molten crater. They wouldn't need to level everything, just key military and government centers. Washington, D.C., Beijing, Moscow, London. They would be erased from the map in a blinding flash of green light. The message would be clear. Resistance is not just futile, it's suicidal. Global command and control would shatter instantly. We'd be a planet of disconnected, terrified people with no leadership. But Palpatine isn't just a brute. He's a master manipulator, a political genius. After the initial shock and awe, he would pivot. His message, broadcast on a continuous loop, wouldn't just be threats. It would be promises. He'd talk about ending our wars, our poverty, our political squabbles. He would offer order, stability, and technological advancement. Your leaders have failed you, he'd say with that chillingly calm voice. Your endless conflicts have brought you nothing but suffering. Join the Empire, and you will know peace. You will know security. And the terrifying part? Many people would accept. Faced with annihilation on one hand and a promise of a better, more orderly life on the other, many would choose survival. Collaborators would emerge, eager to serve their new masters in exchange for power and safety. Palpatine would install a planetary governor, likely a charismatic and ruthless human from our own ranks, to manage the occupation. We've seen this happen throughout our own history. It would happen again on a global scale. The Empire's control would be absolute. An imperial garrison would be established in every major city. Our internet would be replaced by the HoloNet, censored and monitored. Imperial propaganda would be everywhere. Children would be indoctrinated into the imperial way of thinking. Any dissent would be crushed ruthlessly by the Imperial Security Bureau, the ISB. Think of the most efficient secret police from history, then give them advanced surveillance technology and a complete lack of moral restraint. Friends would inform on friends, and families would be torn apart by suspicion. But what about resistance? Would humanity just roll over? Absolutely not. It's not in our nature. Pockets of resistance would form. Guerrilla fighters, using their knowledge of the local terrain, would stage hit-and-run attacks. In dense jungles, rugged mountains, or sprawling urban jungles, small cells of rebels would fight back. They would repurpose our existing technology, trying to find weaknesses in Imperial armor or communications. They'd become terrorists in the eyes of the Empire, but freedom fighters to those who still dared to hope. This is where the true horror of Palpatine's rule would begin. The Empire doesn't tolerate rebellion. For every TIE fighter shot down, an entire town would be razed. For every stormtrooper ambushed, 100 civilians would be publicly executed as a warning. The Empire practices collective punishment on a horrifying scale. Palpatine would make an example of Earth that would echo across the galaxy. He would use our defiance to demonstrate the price of opposing him. And let's not forget Palpatine's greatest weapon, the dark side of the Force. He could sense dissent, feel the hatred of the rebels, and use it to find them. He could corrupt potential leaders, turning them against their own people with promises of power. He wouldn't even need to be on the planet. His presence would be a suffocating shroud of fear, a constant psychic pressure that grinds down hope and fuels despair. If he brought Vader with him, the hunt for rebels would be brutally efficient. Imagine a guerrilla cell's secret base suddenly having its door torn from its hinges by an unseen force, followed by the terrifying sound of mechanical breathing. So, in the end, what would an imperial invasion of Earth look like? It would start with a swift, brutal military conquest that would shatter our civilization in days. It would be followed by a political takeover, manipulating our fears and weaknesses to install a puppet government. Then would come the long, dark night of occupation, a period of oppression, surveillance, and terror, where our culture is slowly erased and replaced by imperial dogma. While small, brave groups of rebels would undoubtedly fight on, their struggle would be almost hopeless. Without outside help from a rebel alliance, without our own Jedi to inspire us, Earth would become just another oppressed world in a vast, uncaring empire. A grim, terrifying thought, but it's a testament to the sheer scale and power that Star Wars imagines. So next time you look at the stars, maybe be a little grateful that the only dagger-shaped things up there are constellations. Thanks for watching. If you like diving into these epic what-if scenarios, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Let us know in the comments what sci-fi invasion you want us to break down next. See you then.